The buffet is where more cruises quietly go wrong for people our age than anywhere else on the ship, and nobody warns you, because the buffet is free and fun and it feels harmless. It is not always harmless. So let me start with the single biggest mistake, the one that can end your whole vacation in a cabin bathroom. Do not eat at the buffet in your first few hours aboard. That welcome buffet, the one everyone crowds into the moment they step on the ship, is statistically the riskiest meal of the entire cruise. Thousands of people, fresh from airports and taxis, haven't washed properly, all reaching over the same serving spoons at once. The health authorities that track these things will tell you the first 4 hours on board are the highest risk window for the stomach bug that causes those outbreaks you read about. So on embarkation day, have a proper sit-down lunch in the dining room instead, or wait. Just don't dive into that first mob at the buffet. Now I want to be clear about something before we go further, because I am not here to scare you off the buffet. I love a good buffet. The variety, the freedom, going back for just a little more of the thing you liked. It's one of the real joys of cruising. This is about enjoying it for a whole week without it turning on you. I'll tell you what turned me into such a stickler about all this. A few cruises back, a lovely couple we'd befriended at dinner vanished for 3 days, right in the middle of the sailing. When they finally reappeared, pale and shaky, they'd caught the stomach bug and spent half their vacation confined to their cabin, missing the 2 ports they'd most looked forward to. They were heartbroken, and the worst part is it was almost certainly preventable. That stayed with me, because the difference between their week and a wonderful one came down to a handful of small habits at the buffet that nobody had ever told them. So that's what I'm giving you now, the habits. Learn the way you'd rather not learn them. Stay with me and keep a pen handy, because I've got 11 of these. The things I've learned not to do after more buffet breakfasts than I can count. Take a picture of the screen at the end, and you'll have the whole list. And if you're just meeting me, I'm Margaret, your cruise companion, and I make these for those of us cruising after 60 who want the good life at sea without the mistakes that catch up with you. Let's get into it, because the next one is the mistake almost everybody makes. The second thing, do not rely on that squirt of hand sanitizer by the door and think you're protected. Here's the truth the dispenser doesn't tell you. Alcohol hand sanitizer does very little against norovirus, the bug behind nearly every cruise ship stomach outbreak. That virus has a tough shell the alcohol simply doesn't break. What actually works is soap and warm water, a good 20 seconds of real scrubbing. So before you eat, walk past the gel and find the restroom, and wash your hands properly, every single time. This one habit does more to keep you well all week than anything else I'll tell you today. And let me be honest, because I don't want you thinking I'm asking the impossible. I use the sanitizer too, on the way in and the way out, and there's no harm in it. It's just that it is not the shield people believe it to be, and the ship is happy to let you believe otherwise, because a gel dispenser at the door is easier than a sink. So think of the gel as a nice extra, and the soap and water as the real protection. And here's the piece almost nobody thinks about. It isn't only your hands before you eat. It's the serving spoon that 100 people touched before you, the tray edge, the rail you steady yourself on. That's how this bug travels around a ship so fast. So wash before you eat, try not to touch your face while you're up there, and wash again after. It sounds like a lot written out, but within a day it's simply what you do. And it's the single best gift you can give your own vacation. Third, do not go up to the buffet at the peak of the rush. The worst times are the moment it opens for breakfast and right when everybody floods back aboard hungry after a port day. That's when it's shoulder to shoulder, when every table's taken, and when you, balancing a plate and looking for a seat in a crowd, are most likely to get bumped. Go 20 or 30 minutes off the peak. The food is just as fresh, often fresher, the lines are gone, and you can actually find a calm table. For anyone a little unsteady on their feet, that quieter room isn't just nicer, it's safer. Let me give you the rhythm of it, because once you see the pattern, you'll never fight the crowd again. On a sea day, the whole ship wakes up slowly, so the buffet is a crush from about 8 to 9:30, and then it quiets beautifully. On a port day, it flips. Early morning is calm because everyone's ashore, and the crush comes when the tired, hungry crowd pours back aboard in the late afternoon. Learn that rhythm and you can always slide in during the quiet. I've had entire peaceful breakfasts, a window table all to myself and the ocean going by, simply by going up at 10 instead of 8. The food was the same. The morning was completely different. Fourth, and this is one people don't want to hear. Do not fill one enormous plate to the edges. I know, it's all there and it looks wonderful, but a mountain of food on one plate does two things to you. The food at the bottom goes cold and sad before you reach it, and you end up eating far more than your body wants because it's in front of you. Take a small plate. Take a little of 2 or 3 things. Then get up and go back for more if you'd like. That's the whole beauty of a buffet, and it's easier on your digestion, which matters more for us than it did at 40. Fifth, do not carry a loaded tray across a moving ship if you're the least bit unsteady. A ship moves under you, sometimes when you least expect it, and a heavy tray and a sudden roll is exactly how a fall happens. There is no shame in this at all. Make 2 smaller trips instead of 1 heavy one. Ask the young man clearing tables to carry your plate to your seat, because they genuinely will, and they're happy to. Or better still, sit down at a table first and see whether a crew member can bring you a plate. Your safety is worth more than looking independent. I want to sit on this one a moment longer, because I've watched it happen, and it's the mistake that scares me most for us. A person balancing a full tray, a coffee cup rattling on the edge, threading between chairs on a floor that's very gently moving the whole time. It only takes one unexpected roll of the ship, and a fall at our age is not a scraped knee. It's the thing that can end the cruise and a good deal more besides. So please, hear me. There is nothing dignified about insisting on carrying it all yourself, and nothing embarrassing about asking for a hand. The crew see it as their job, and the truly seasoned cruisers, the ones who've been sailing for 30 years, are exactly the ones who ask for help without a second thought. Be one of those. Steady beats proud, every time. Sixth, do not just graze all day long because you already paid for it. This is the mental trap of the buffet. It's there, it's included, so the feeling is that stopping is somehow wasting money. It isn't. You paid the same whether you eat 4 plates or 1. Grazing from morning to midnight is how people come home from a week's cruise feeling heavy and sluggish. And for anyone watching their blood sugar or their weight, it's a real problem. Eat when you're actually hungry, the way you would at home. The food will still be there tomorrow. And there's a quieter cousin to this mistake that catches a lot of us. The late night buffet. After a show or a nightcap, there it is, the pizza and the pastries at 11 o'clock, and it's so tempting. But a heavy plate right before bed, especially rich or greasy food, is a recipe for the reflux and the restless night that so many of us know all too well after 60. If you're genuinely hungry late, keep it light, a little fruit or a bit of cheese. Your sleep and your morning will be far better for it. I learned that 1 plate of midnight nachos at a time, and I'd rather you didn't. Seventh, do not overlook the made-to-order stations. Most people load up from the big trays that have been sitting out under the lights, picked over by 100 hands, and walk right past the omelet station, the carving station, the pasta cooked fresh for you. Made to order is fresher, it's hotter, and far fewer hands have been near it. Ask the cook for what you want. That's what they're standing there for. You'll eat better and safer at the same time. And this matters twice over if you're managing your health with your food. If you're watching salt for your heart or sugar for your diabetes, the cook at the omelet or the carving station can make you something plain and simple. No added salt, no heavy sauce, cooked right in front of you so you know exactly what's in it. You cannot get that from a tray that's been sitting under a heat lamp for an hour. So don't be shy. Tell them what you need. In all my years, I've never once had a cook be anything but glad to help. And it turns the buffet from a minefield into a place you can actually eat well. 8th, do not drink your way through the soda and sugary juice machines and call it hydration. It's easy to do. They're right there and endless. But all that sugar actually leaves you more dehydrated, and out at sea, in the sea air and the sun, dehydration sneaks up on older bodies fast and leaves you tired, dizzy, and foggy. Have water with your meals, real water. If plain water bores you, add a slice of lemon from the tea station. Your body will thank you by 3 in the afternoon when everyone else is flagging. And a gentle word on the coffee and the cocktails too, because I enjoy both and I'm not going to pretend otherwise. Coffee in the morning and a glass of wine in the evening are part of the pleasure of a cruise. Just know that both of them pull water out of you, so the trick is simply to have a glass of water alongside. 1 for 1. A coffee, a water. A cocktail, a water. Do that and you can enjoy everything without paying for it with a headache and that wrung out feeling by the end of the day. It's such a small thing, and it makes an enormous difference to how you feel on a ship. 9th, do not settle for a table in the middle of the chaos. When you walk in, take a moment and choose your spot on purpose. A table by a window, or along the quiet edge of the room, or near the door so you're not walking a loaded plate across the whole floor. The middle of a buffet at peak time is noise and elbows and people squeezing past your chair. Pick the calm edge. It costs you nothing and it turns a stressful meal into a pleasant one. And think about the practical things when you choose, the way a seasoned cruiser does. A table not too far from where you'll be serving yourself, so it's a short, steady walk with your plate. Near enough to a restroom that you're not hiking across the ship. Out of the main current of traffic so no one's brushing your chair. If you use a cane or a walker, a spot on the end of a row where you can get in and out without a fuss. None of this is fussy. It's simply choosing your ground on purpose instead of dropping into the first seat you see. And it's the mark of someone who's learned to make a big ship feel easy. 10th, do not sneak plates of food back to your cabin to save for later, especially anything that can spoil. I know it feels thrifty, wrapping up a little something for the afternoon, but perishable food left sitting in a warm cabin for hours is asking for trouble, and some lines discourage it for exactly that reason. If you want a snack in the room, take a piece of whole fruit, an apple or an orange, something that keeps. Leave the seafood and the creamy things in the dining room where they belong. Think about it plainly. That little cabin is warm. There's no proper refrigeration for a plate of food, and a shrimp or a bit of quiche left out for 4 hours is exactly the sort of thing that makes a person ill. Our stomachs are simply less forgiving than they were at 30, and it isn't worth the gamble for a snack you could get fresh anytime by walking back up. If you truly like something in the room for later, a whole apple, a banana, a sealed packet of crackers, those keep and those are fine. Everything else, enjoy it there, hot and fresh, and let the ship deal with the leftovers. And the 11th, the one that comes back to you all week. Do not treat the buffet crew as if they're invisible. At the sit-down restaurants, everyone remembers the waiter, but up at the buffet, the people refilling your coffee, clearing your plates, wiping your table, they get overlooked all day long. A warm good morning, learning a face, a quiet thank you, and yes, a little tip here and there when someone goes out of their way for you. It's simply how we treat people, and I promise you it comes back. The crew look after the guests who look after them, at the buffet just as much as anywhere else on that ship. And I'll let you in on what really happens when you do this. By day 3, they know you. They see you coming and they've already got your coffee the way you like it. They save you the table by the window. They point you to the fresh tray that just came out of the galley instead of the one that's been sitting. That kind of care can't be bought with a big tip on the last night, but it's given freely, all week long, to the person who treated them like a human being from the very first morning. It's the warmest part of cruising, honestly, and it's there for the taking. It just asks the smallest bit of kindness from you first. So here's your list, clean, and this is your moment to take a picture of the screen. Don't eat at the buffet your first few hours aboard. Don't trust hand sanitizer. Wash with soap and water instead. Don't go at the peak of the rush. Don't pile one giant plate. Take small and go back. Don't carry a heavy tray if you're unsteady. Get help. Don't graze all day because it's included. Don't skip the fresher made-to-order stations. Don't fill up on sugary drinks. Drink water. Don't settle for a chaotic table. Pick the calm edge. Don't carry perishable food back to your cabin. And don't treat the buffet crew as invisible. You know, so many of you have asked me where all of these good sense habits live in one place. The eating, the staying well, the staying steady side of cruising after 60. I put the whole of it in writing. The health, comfort, and staying safe guide, along with the full planner, make up the Senior Cruise Companion Collection. It's the written version of the way of cruising we talk about here, ready to bring aboard with you. The link is down in the description, and there's a code on your screen for those of you watching on the television. It's there if it would help, and only if you want it. But here's the heart of it. The buffet is one of the great pleasures of a cruise, and none of what I've said today is about eating less joy. It's about eating smart, so that you feel wonderful every one of those mornings instead of losing 2 days of your vacation to something you could have sidestepped. Enjoy it fully. Just enjoy it wisely. That's the whole art of it after 60. I'm Margaret, your cruise companion. Eat well, stay steady, and I'll see you on the next one.